Hey guys, welcome to the next segment here at Dubs Nation. Real quick, I'm trying to grow the channel, so please subscribe and more importantly, share the message. We got to flood the airwaves, like I said before, and the internet with our message. The left barrages everybody and stuffs it down their throat, and we have to fight back fire with fire. They are constantly canceling and censoring conservatives. The other kid, Anomaly, has also been banned on Facebook for, I don't know, he just got back today. So let's fight fire with fire. Share the message, share those guys' messages, share everybody, subscribe to all of them, do what you got to do. Okay, so like I said in the last segment, the Democrats have now realized that they are losing grip of the narrative. They can no longer claim that the riots are not happening. They can no longer claim that the riots are justified, because they're not. People are freaking out. They've seen it in the polls, and now they are trying to change. And I realized this when I was seeing all the trolls and all the idiots and all the some of the pundits on the give their responses to the RNC last night, and they realized the RNC was a big hit. And you see all the trolls and all the liberal idiots start to come in the comment section of all the videos of the RNC, and they are pushing that this is Trump's fault. You saw Joe Biden also allude to it as well. This is Trump's fault. This is Trump's administration, and the riots are happening under Trump. This is his fault. So I already can tell that they're going to try to. That's the narrative that they're now going to try and spin to. They're always looking to pivot. So this is why these people are rioting to begin with. There was a new development in the Jacob Blake case. They released the 911, the police scanner, and 911 call. And I'm going to play it real quick for you guys.
707.
707, 2805 40th Street, 28054 Street. Complainant says Jacob Blake isn't supposed to be there, and he took the complainant's keys and is refusing to give them back.
60.
It goes on from there, and then you get to the shots fired. But what that tells us is that they knew Jacob Blake was the reason for being there. The original narrative was that he was just there breaking up a fight. That's literally what they said, that he was there breaking up a fight, and he was just a good Samaritan. No, he was the reason for the 911 call. He was not only at where he was not supposed to be, but he was attacking and accosting the person that he had previously committed domestic abuse against and sexual assault against. There was an open warrant out for Jacob Blake for domestic abuse and sexual assault. Open warrant. And now they know Jacob Blake was the aggressor in this situation. He's taken her keys and he's not giving them back, and the whole 9 years. So they also know his prior record, which is relevant. Why is it relevant? Because in the prior record, he had a weapon, he had a gun, he pointed a gun at people, and he resisted arrest. Okay, so in that prior record, so now they're thinking that they know that he is not going to comply, or he may not comply. He's got an open warrant, so he's got to come with them, and he's probably not going to want to. Also, we found out there was a knife on the floor of the car he was reaching into. That is the definition of a good shoot. That is the definition of a legitimate self-defense police shooting. From the police knowledge of police procedure and training that I have, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, almost every other officer would have done the same thing, because he was reaching for a knife. They wrestled with him. They deployed 2 tasers, not 1 but 2, and neither worked. He refused to listen to any commands. He stomped over towards the weapon with a purpose, and they fired. Whether you shoot somebody in the back or not is inconsequential at that point. I'm telling you that in the back bullshit is nonsense. Okay? It all depends on the totality of the circumstances. Like, there was Walter Scott in South Carolina running away from the cop, and with no weapon in his hand, not running towards a weapon or anything like that, had not just killed somebody, he just was running away. The cop shot him in the back and then planted a gun on him. What happened? The cop got prosecuted, and he's doing 20 to life. They don't talk about that. But this is the reason why they're rioting. This is the reason for the riots. This was a good shoot. Now, at this point, they'd lumped them all together, all the police incidents, like they're somehow connected, And now at this point, most of them are justified shootings. Michael Brown. This one is a justified shoot. Breonna Taylor is not a racist incident. It's a tragic one, but they had a reason to be there. Her boyfriend shot the cop first. He shot him in the leg. They returned fire, and they were both hit. She was standing right next to the person that shot the cop, so it's reasonable to think that she may get shot in self-defense. She may get shot by that gun. So this is why they're rioting. Democrats, for the longest time, denied the riots were happening. Everybody remembers this one.
There's violence across the whole country. Do you disavow the violence from Antifa that's happening in Portland right now?
That's a myth that's being spread only in Washington, D.C.
About Antifa in Portland?
Yes.
Sir, there's videos everywhere online. There's fires and riots. They're throwing fireworks.
Leave to the House of Representatives resident amorphous blob to sink them even further and make stupid statements like that. But it wasn't just him. It was all of them. Everybody remembers this.
Everyone to this morning's hearing on oversight of the Department of Justice. We will now begin.
I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. General. I'm reclaiming my time. Mr. Attorney General, I have short time. Can you just tell me why you have not... Mr. Attorney General, I want to respect you, but I have a short time.
First, I'd like to respond to what you... Would you please answer my question? My time is limited. I have the time. Thank you. May I respond to these?
Reclaiming my time.
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Well, you got to let him answer.
Reclaiming my time.
The night before... That is Monday night.
I know your story, but I'm asking...
Well, I'm telling my story. That's what I'm here to do.
Well,
I do. That's why I'm here.
My question.
Well, I'm here to tell my story. And on the night before, on February 10th,
sir,
on February 10th, I directed...
Reclaiming my time, and I know you don't want to answer.
Think it's fair? Do you think it is fair for a 67-year-old man to be sent to... Said that...
Now, if you by some chance did not see that, it goes on like that for I don't know how long, an hour plus, and it culminates at the end with A.G. Barr asking if he can have a 5-minute bathroom break, and Nadler telling him no. So not only did they deny the riots were even happening, and during that entire hearing, they denied them. They said that the violence was falling down. It was going down before the federal officers got to Portland. There was no riots in Seattle. This was all President Trump's fault, and he was the reason why there was rioting now, but there was not actually rioting, and they couldn't actually make up their mind which it was. It was peaceful protest or rioting? So now they finally pivoted to, well, this is Trump's America. He's the current president, so this is all his fault. Like, nobody can comprehend that this is actually happening in Democrat-run states and cities. Like, everybody in the country forgets that they have a governor and a mayor that control their local police departments. Everybody forgets that they have a governor that controls the National Guard. No, nobody forgets that. Remember back when there was that Chaz Chop in Seattle? That was Trump's fault too? I don't think so. Trump told to back off Seattle Chaz police free zone. Governor Jay Inslee said Mr. Trump should stay out of the state's business, and Seattle's mayor said any invasion of the city would be illegal. Police abandoned the precinct there on Monday, and after that, everybody knows what happened. What else? Trump's fault here too, I'm guessing, right? Because he didn't send in troops? No. In letter, Mayor Lightfoot urges President Trump not to send federal agents to Chicago, saying it would spell disaster. Claiming sending secret militarized federal agents to Chicago would spell disaster, Mayor Lori Lightfoot on Monday sent President Donald Trump a letter instead of urging him to support new laws to help get illegal guns off the streets. So that's the problem. It's the illegal guns, and they need new gun laws to stop people from getting illegal guns somehow. It's not the people rioting. Now, that brings us to what's happening in Kenosha. That's President Trump's fault too? No. Mark Meadows claims Wisconsin Governor Evers rejected offer of federal help to quell Kenosha rioting. Democrats don't have a leg to stand on, and they know it. They're trying to claim that this is Trump's America. There's right there, every single example, Trump is trying to stop it, and he's being denied by the local and state governments. What else you got, Democrats?
Portland into the early morning
Let's see what
hours
this
today
has to
after
say.
demonstrations throughout the weekend.
Our community has had enough. Our business owners have had enough. Our officers have had enough, and Portland has had enough.
Portland Police Association President Daryl Turner addressing the city's weekend protests, which authorities declared a riot after police say the association's office was set on fire. Nearly 2 months of protests against racial inequality and police brutality have followed the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Recent controversy in Portland has focused on the unidentified federal officers arresting protesters. Department of Homeland Security officers have been seen on camera making arrests and putting protesters into unmarked vehicles. And Customs and Border Protection has acknowledged its agents were also involved in arresting protesters. Oregon's Attorney General is now suing DHS.
These federal agencies are operating with no transparency and against the will of just about every leader in our state.
Those leaders include the governor.
Right there.
And you.
They're against the will and all the leaders in our state. They're refusing the help and allowing the riots to continue. No, idiots. No, you leftist idiots. This is not Donald Trump's America. In an America where he has the ability to do what is necessary, and he's not obstructed by useless Democrats, that doesn't happen. Riots don't happen. Businesses aren't burned down. People like David Dorn aren't shot and killed in cold blood. When you allow riots to take place, chaos ensues, and it becomes a snowball effect. Okay, at some point there is no controlling it. So what do you think is going to happen when you just allow rioters to run roughshod over cities all over the country without allowing the police to do their job and stop it and crush it? You're going to get people standing up and fighting back. This is America. This is America. They're not going to stand for that. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened with this kid, Kyle Rittenhouse. And that leads us to the next segment. I'm going to get into Kyle Rittenhouse and exactly what the media narrative it was originally on him and what the actual fact pattern turned out to be. Thanks, guys, for sticking around. Join me on the next one.